some foodstuff, and then very much seated very comfortably. Naturally, I may ask, that means the person who is being welcomed, what do you want? Then I'll expect, give me this, give me that, give me that. So Srila Prabhupada is describing that if you, puja means you call someone, you seat them nicely, you give them nice food, you respect them, and the person who's being welcomed and respected, who's being offered puja, he will say, what do you want? And then the person who is offering the respect says, I want this and I want that. So that's a standard thing, as I have observed, in a hierarchical society. Of course, every society is hierarchical, but in the West there's a pervasive myth that it's not. But a clearly structured society in which there are, for instance, landowners, richer people, servants. So a person of the servant class, they do their service in this and that. They may, on some occasion, particularly offer some respect to all the time they'll offer respect, but they may call the house owner, sit him, offer him something nice, and it's understood. Okay, he wants something. And those who are big, it's there, they have to give. Have to means it's just part of the dharma, that's all. It's difficult to explain. Just like, for instance, people in a household, they're servants, and the servants' children will also become servants in the same household. And when it's time for the servants' children to be married, the expenses will be paid for by the house owners, and like that. It's just understood. So if someone is approaching like that, you understand. Oh, now he needs something from what does he need? Oh, my daughter has to be married. So, all right, what do you need? This. All right. And it's expected it will be looked after. So I'll expect, give me this, give me that, give me that. That is going on, Srila Prabhupada says. That is called puja. But those who are worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is not called puja, that is called seva, krsna-seva. We never say krsna-puja. Nobody never says like that. Seva. Seva means it is my duty. I am an eternal servant of Krishna. Seva is my duty. So there is a difference between puja and seva. Puja means I flatter you to satisfy you, and after being satisfied you may offer me something, or I'll ask you something and you offer me. That is called puja. That is devata-puja. So when you come to Krishna or Vishnu, that is not puja, that is seva. Seva. So as Krishna is offered seva, service, similarly his representative, he is also offered seva. So in regard to this, Vrndavana Chandra Prabhu sent an email with a quote from Srila Prabhupada's purport to Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 6, 47. The word bhajate is significant here. Bhajate has its root in the word bhaj, which is used when there is need of service. The English word worship cannot be used in the same sense as bhaj. Worship means to adore or to show respect and honor to the worthy one, but service with love and faith is especially meant for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's from the verse that yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaramana shadhavan bhajate yomang samayuktatamo masaha. So the shraddha, worship with faith, and antaratmana, love. So one can avoid worshipping a respectable man or a demigod and may be called discourteous, but one cannot avoid the Supreme Lord without being thoroughly condemned. End of quote. However, we use the word puja, worship, in relation to Guru Puja, Vyasa Puja, etc. Also, Krishna says to Uddhava, Madbhakta Puja Bhyadika. Krishna says to Uddhava that when describing the whole system of worship of himself, in the midst of that Krishna says to Uddhava that worship of my devotee is better than worship of myself. So what is the context in these cases where the word puja is used? Yeah, the important word here is context. Puja is also done for Krishna. The word may not be used so much. There are puja archana, seva archana. These terms are used. Archa means deity worship. So there's the puja. Puja is part of deity worship, where first in deity worship, first there's guru puja, and then the deities are worshipped. So puja means to offer all nice things, to bathe, to dress, to offer nice scents, food, flowers, arati. But the attitude there is definitely it's one of someone who's making a supplication, please give me this. But it's different to that of someone who worships a demigod with the aim of getting some material gain. Devotee prays to Krishna that na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kame mama janmani janmanishri bhavatad bhakti rahaitu kitvai. I don't want the kinds of things that people go to demigods for: money, wealth, followers, beautiful women. I only want your service, birth after birth. So he's praying for service, for bhakti, causeless, without any personal demand. Prem dham vina beta daridra jivan das kari betan more deya prem dham. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prayers. He says that without the wealth of prem, love for Krishna, then our life is miserable and poverty-stricken. So he prays for the wages. I'm doing these activities, so you repay me with the wealth, the payment of love of Krishna, love of himself. So it's a different attitude. Certainly puja is done for Krishna, but it's a different attitude. The attitude that, yes, why am I doing this? Well, there's no real question. Why? Why do we worship demigods? For dhan, jan, sundari. Why do you worship Krishna? Well, that's just what we do. That's our life. That's what we do. There's no personal reason for it. We do it because it's service. Our position is a servant. Loving feelings. There's a difference between doing something with the idea of getting something from someone and doing something, serving someone simply out of love. So, in the higher levels of bhakti, well, the word puja won't even be used. The gopis don't think that well, there is also sometimes, we find in the Goswami's works, there is formal arati performed by the gopis for Radha and Krishna. But generally they're busy in collecting flour, fruit, making bed for Radha and Krishna from flowers, decorating the bower, dressing Krishna, dressing Radha. But it's informal. And the idea is, whereas puja is formal. So at the highest level, the seva, the word is seva, and as Srila Prabhupada says here, we always talk about krsna-seva. I don't know in your language, but I know in the Bengali language, or Gauriya Bhasha, as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, that by speaking this language, the people of Gaura Desh, Bengal, they are elevated to Golok Vrndavana. That doesn't mean talking all nonsense in Bengali, but discussing topics of Krishna in that language is particularly helpful for elevation to the spiritual world. So always we've spoken of krsna-seva, Vaishnava seva. Not so much puja. Jibe daya. What is that? Jibe daya, name ruche, Vaishnava sevan. These three things. Iha bhai, dharma nahi, shuna shanatan. These three things, they constitute the essence of dharma. Mercy toward, compassion toward all living beings, taste for the holy name, and service to the Vaishnavas. So the attitude is more on seva as a duty, not just a duty as rigid, as formal, as in the army, something like that, but offered with love, spontaneously, happily. Whereas puja tends to be a little rigid, ritualistic. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Here in South India, in the Vaishnava traditions, there's more emphasis on formalistic worship. So this idea, puja, I come, I want something from you. I'm being nice to you, means I want something from you. I have some self-interest. But seva means that one will serve all one's life and completely dedicated and not expecting anything in return. There's so many examples. Lakshman, he served Sita and Ram in the forest, literally day and night. He didn't sleep. He didn't go on strike at any time. Even when Sita was so cruel to him with her words, he didn't retaliate. And he came back eventually to Ayodhya, and life went on as usual. He didn't expect that, okay, now I need to get some recognition. It's just, that's what he does. He's the younger brother and he serves, that's all. So there's no expectation. The reward is the service, that's all. The opportunity. Seva abhilash. This again and again we find in our Vaishnava songs, the prayer, the desire for service. Not that we're worshipping and then you'll put me on a big seat and people will come and worship me. No, just the opportunity for service. Or as here, I say here, I mean not particularly in Salem, but in South India, in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, they emphasize on kainkarya, the opportunity for service, personal service. Hare Krishna.